Hello, it's Gabrielle from Cloth Edit. I thought I would do my very first Friday sews, and I thought also it'd be a great place to talk about my 2023 Re-Sewlutions. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by again. I hope you are well. I am doing my very first Friday sews, and I thought it might be a good place just to chat about some resolutions or goals that I have for 2023. I've recently posted my Make 9 video, but that's very project specific, and these goals are broader broader and looser, and more, they just indicate sort of direction I want to go in. Anyway, so I hope you have a great weekend, looking forward. And yes, so my first resolution is about meeting other sewers. Now, it's really important for me to be active in the online sewing community, and I love it, but sewing can be a really lonely hobby. and I know a lot of people who sew. My sisters, a number of my sisters sew, and I'm very close to my sisters, but they don't live in the same town as I do. And I really miss connecting with other, women specifically. So yes, so I'm going to start some sewing groups, and I've had a meeting and looked at some spaces, and I'm pretty well decided on the space. I put a little announcement in my weekly newsletter asking for expressions of interest for sewists on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia, if they were interested, and I had about 10 ladies email me back saying that they were interested, so that was great. So it gave me the confidence to move ahead and look at spaces. So it's going to be a combination of just casual meetups. We bring whatever we're working on and just sew together. I mean, I can't wait. I love that idea. And I'm also thinking about classes, because I've had a number of people ask me recently about teaching them to sew. And I mean, where I work at home, my studio is at home, and I don't have the space for that sort of thing, but I'm quite interested in doing different classes, not just beginner classes. I've got other classes in mind. I'd really like to do shirt making and dresses and blouses and all sorts of things. But yeah, I think I'll probably start up with a meetup, a general meetup, and just sewing whatever we like. Anyway, so that's the first one, and I'm on it. I am proceeding, so that's exciting. So the next one is I want to embellish my garments more. Now, I have a fantastic sewing machine. It's a Skyline 9, a Genome, or Genome, I think it's pronounced, Skyline 9. Now, this was a really, really big step up from my previous machine, which was an Alina, which it's a very popular beginner machine. And it was great, but it was a bit limiting, and I wanted something a bit more robust with bells and whistles. Anyway, it does, it has lots and lots of different stitches, and I know many of you will have machines that have a great catalogue of stitches, and you've all done these samplers when you get your new machine. But I want to incorporate this sort of thing more in my garments. That's just the stitch library. My machine also has an embroidery module, I guess you'd call it. So, and I've used it for monogram that I did on a shirt. But that's about, and something else. And I've had a play with it, but I want to play with it a lot more. So with embellishment, I'm focusing on embroidery, but different sorts of embroidery. So, you know, using my my different stitches, using the embroidery module on the machine more, but also I want to learn hand embroidery, and that's exactly what I've been doing. I've been doing a number of things on that front, because I do get my teeth into things and get, you know, obsessive about it. So what I'll tell you first of all about the course I'm doing. I've been looking at different kinds of embroidery that attract me, and what really excites me is a style. It's a Mexican embroidery that this particular artist, and I'll put her name below because I don't want to mispronounce it, a particular style of embroidery that this designer uses. So this designer is Spanish, but has spent a lot of time in Mexico, and she's an embroidery artist and has researched all over Europe, but she also went to Mexico to research Mexican embroidery, and I just fell in love with her designs when I saw them, and it was like, yes, that's what I want to do. That's exactly what I want to do. That's the style. They're the colors. That's it. And so I'm doing her course, and this is my little sampler here. And I pulled out, I had to, you know, this flower, I've had to pull out parts of it because I was experimenting, combining threads, and it didn't quite work. But anyway, I'm learning the stitches, and no doubt there are overlaps with, you know, European embroidery, the great tradition of European embroidery. But I really like, the reason I'm doing this course, I really like this instructor's, this artist's approach to embroidery, and I was almost in tears when I was, well, listening. She's speaking Spanish in the Domestica course, obviously, because Domestica is a Spanish craftsy, if you like. And I'm reading the subtitles, and I'm getting emotional, like reading her connection with embroidery and what it means to her. It's you know, anyway, it really connected with me. I think mainly because she talks about how embroidery is not just the stitches, it's not just the item, it's who you're with, it's what you're doing when you are embroidering. And so down the track, when I'm more competent, I'd like to incorporate that into my, you know, sewing meetups as well, you know, embellishing a garment. That could be lots of fun. But yes, I love this, and hopefully I've been inserting some pictures here of the type of work that this artist does. Anyway, I find it utterly beautiful and inspiring, and she's a wonderful person. And I've ordered, I don't like to order books on Amazon. I try and order them locally, but I could only find one copy of this book on Amazon. So it's her book on Mexican embroidery, and it's in Spanish, so I can't read it, but the illustrations are really good. And another reason why I'm interested in embroidery is I'm active in my day as far as I'm up I'm doing orders, I'm lifting heavy, bolts of fabric and that sort of thing, but I am in front of the computer a lot. And in my previous work, I used to be a sessional academic at university and also taught online, but my realm is English literature, and so I could take a book, and I don't like ebooks. I used to take books and a notepad and I could do that anywhere and just read, and I miss that. So I love the idea of hand embroidery and just taking my hoop and a little packet of something and going anywhere, to a park, to a coffee shop, and just doing a bit of embroidery. So that's another reason for the embroidery. My next resolution, and I better speed up because I'm talking far too much, is I want to learn how to pattern cut, to design patterns. Initially for myself, but I have dreams. I have dreams of designing some patterns for cloth edit. I dare say it out loud. It could be years away, but it's something I've always wanted to do. I've got great ideas that I want to experiment with, just for me in the beginning. And yes, and this book is sensational. I bought this through Booktopia, which is Australia's biggest online bookstore. I looked in all my local bookstores and they didn't have it, but and Booktopia had to get it in, but it didn't take too long. Anyway, I'm going to talk about this more in detail as I get moving on my draping, but it's really exciting and I can't wait. I've got to order some calico. I need lots of calico. So that's my second resolution. My my fourth. So meeting up, embroidery, draping, and my fourth and last one is bag making. Now I don't think I've ever made a bag, and I've probably made a simple sort of calico tote or that sort of thing, but not a more serious bag, and I've started to do that. So, and what spurred this on was I saw on YouTube So Over It launching their city set. Is it the city? Yeah, the city set. And in that city set, it's a bigger bag. It's like a barrel-shaped bag that would be good for a gym sort of bag, or an overnight bag. And then there's a bum bag, and that's the one that I was excited about. So I bought the pattern, and I'll show you what I'm making it in. I've had to pause because I need to find sort of chunkier zips. I need a chunky zip to put in it. Anyway, so I'm making it to go with my Toile a la mode shirt dress that I've recently made. So that's going to be fun, and I didn't have any hardware and I didn't know much about it. So I went on to a website, so it's in Australia, and I wanted one close-ish to me. So I went to Voodoo Rabbit Fabrics, and they're located in Brisbane in Queensland, and they had a fantastic range, so I've just gone for them. And what I did, so for those who haven't made a bag like me, you need all sorts of things. You need swivel clips and sliders and D-rings. So I bought I went overboard because I think I've got a few things in mind for my bags in mind for my daughter. So that's the rainbow, and then I got a set in copper, which I love as well, and then gold. So like those, and I didn't really know what, apart from my first one in the twill fabric, I didn't know what I was going to do, so I just bought a couple, a few strappings, some like a golden antique gold colour, a royal blue and a navy. So I don't know which one I'll actually use with my twill. I mean, probably the royal blue, but any of them would look great. The golden colour would look great as well. So that's it for my resolutions. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it? But I need to feed the soul, I think, this year, and do some quiet, creative pottering that's a little bit away from my business, like learning new things. I think is going to be fantastic for me. So I'm really happy. So do you have resolutions? Let me know. I would love to see yours, read yours. And yes, so once again, hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye.